Welcome to my unboxing and first look at the NZXT Hale V2 series. Now, as per the V2, this isn't NZXT's first kick at the can when it comes to a power supply, but they are continuing with their original philosophy, which was leading customer support for their PSUs. Now, it's hard to differentiate a power supply these days. It's got a fan, it's got a 24-pin connector, it's got like power in, and it's probably got some kind of an 80+ rating. In this case, it's 80+ gold, which is I think where that 90 comes from, because it's basically 90% efficiency. But check this out. This is the less than 3, which is their little heart right here. So it's 2 steps. If there's a problem within the 5-year warranty period for your power supply, they will not only pay to ship it back to you, which is what most companies do, but they will also pay for you to simply schedule a pickup and ship it back to them on their dime. So the idea is that an RMA shouldn't cost the customer anything, even though that is not the industry standard and applies to US and Canada residents only, apparently, but there you go. That's what they're going for here. So it's fully modular, Japanese capacitors, a single 12-volt rail, 135mm dual ball bearing fan, and energy saving, which of course, any 80+ gold power supply would tend to be. NZXT does a great job of their packaging, so they've got a nice soft foam here that gives you a nice little look at the power supply through that window in the top. And then they've got a very stylish white bag that includes all of the cables that you need. So it's fully modular, like I said before, which means you've got a detachable 24-pin connector. Actually, you know what? Let's get into the cables a little bit more after. So you've got power assurance. Look at that. They include a little QC thing. So they do a 45-degree burn-in. They do initial test. They check the soldering, secondary. Neat. I mean, obviously, you know, QC gets done at some point for most products, but the fact that they include that for you, I think is just kind of neat. User's manual, so it's available in 850 watts, 1,000 watts, and 1,200 watts. And that leaves us pretty much with the power cable and then the power supply itself. Look at that, they're using the higher current connector for the back of the power supply, in spite of the fact that it's just a 1,000-watt unit. It's not necessary, but including a beefy power cable is not really a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. They include 5 cable ties as well as 4 black screws so that you can install the power supply and manage your cables. And of course, the obligatory bag of throwaway, do not eat silica gel. That leaves us with pretty much the power supply itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the box down there. I personally love white power supplies. I think they look really stylish. I think they look really good. And I think as long as they have awesome innards, then that's all very good things. So here on the top, you've got that 135mm dual ball bearing fan that we talked about before, as well as a classy looking NZXT logo. I'm gonna try and get this sticker off really quick here. See if I can make that happen. There we go. Love it. It's just a simple stamped metal logo, just kind of a black glossy finish over it. Looks really nice. On this side, you've got a Hale 90. This is kind of a rubberized finish, so this isn't metal. So the metal is actually just the white part here, which feels like a very durable paint finish. It's got some texture to it, so I'm not gonna worry about accidentally scratching it. That was my one complaint about the old OCZ Power Stream 520. Awesome power supply, single strong 12-volt rail back in the days when that wasn't that common. But the finish on that thing was terrible. You installed it in a system and then it just looked like butt. On the other side, so you can see that they've got it such that you can install it either way and the text on the side will be correct. See, there you go. You've got another rubber strip that looks equally good, and then there's your modular interface. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out all of the cables and we'll be back in a moment. So in terms of modular connectors, there's actually a very wide variety. So check this out. These are all PCI Express here, so 6 6+2 connectors, and this is actually quite nice to see. So even on a lot of power supplies that have flat cables for the Molex and SATA connectors, you'll see a sleeved connector for PCIe, but instead NZXT has opted for flat ribbon cables, even for PCI Express. The length is also quite optimal, so you're going to be able to manage the cables behind your motherboard tray, bring them out behind your video card, and I mean, it's so nice because most video cards these days on the high performance side have at least 2 PCIe connectors on them. So what's great about having these flat cables is that you can easily run them somewhere together. See that? Without them actually taking up much additional bulk at all. So then when they reach the destination, it doesn't look untidy and gross. It just looks very, very clean. So from an aesthetic standpoint, I think this is one of the nicest implementations I've ever seen of that. So kudos to NZXT for that. You've also got a standard 4+4 and another standard 4+4 and dedicated connectors for these. A lot of the time you see on modular power supplies, they're going to give you the option to either install 2 8-pin CPU connectors or your full complement of PCI Express connectors, but they have not done that. You can plug in all of them as much as you want all the time. The 24-pin connector is the only one that uses a braided sleeving on top of it as opposed to a flat connector. I'd love to see someone implement a flat 24-pin. And then if I had to complain about the power supply, which I guess I sort of am supposed to, I'd say not enough SATA. So we've got 3 quad SATA harnesses, which is up to 12 connectors, but I'd like to see more of a mixture, so maybe a couple quad ones and a couple dual ones, because you're not always going to be running them somewhere where you actually have to connect 4 devices. And we really don't need this much Molex anymore. So we've got a triple Molex with a floppy, we've got a triple Molex with a floppy, we've got a quadruple Molex, and then we've got another quadruple Molex. I'd say SATA is a much more common connector now than Molex these days, so I wouldn't have minded seeing that changed around. Anyway, if you're wondering about the weird setting, it's rock solid. See, get it? We're on a rock. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.